And now, it's time for episode 379 of
The Horror Guys. Yay! I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
We're going to talk about 5 movies we saw this week.
5 more horror movies to add to the pile.
Uh-huh. Well, one was a documentary kind of thing.
It's still monsters.
It's still monsters. It's still a movie.
What do we got?
We got The Bone Keeper from 2026, brand new. And also, a very strange one, from 2026, Dead Lover.
Very strange one.
That was, yeah. And also, we're having a trend here, 2026, The Kinderhook Creature in the Shadow of Sasquatch, which I'd never heard of the Kinderhook Creature
Is it
before.
Kinderhook or Kindle Hook?
A Kinderhook.
Kinder. Okay, I got
Kinder.
the title typed wrong. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I fixed
with
that.
an N, yeah. And wrapping up the Strangers trilogy with Strangers Chapter 3. And going back in time to 2017, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, which was also the last movie in a trilogy.
Middle.
Oh, that was the middle one.
This is the middle child.
Oh, this is the middle child. Okay.
We will finish next week.
Okay. It's a trilogy of anime style, very science fiction-y Godzilla's set in the future.
Far, far future.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and as always, the show is brought to you by HorrorMonthly.com, where we have all our reviews in magazine format. Pick it up today for your Kindle, not Kinder,
Kindle.
or paperback, or any place where ebooks or paperbacks are sold. We also have the Horror Guys Guides, which takes a topic in horror and just explores the heck out of it. We got the Horror Guys Guide to the films of Hammer horror, going back to the 60s and 50s, 60s, and 70s. Universal Horror Monsters has one. Our most recent one is the Guide to Tremors. All the Tremors movies and the TV show.
I liked Tremors.
The Horror Guys Guide to the movies and TV series Tremors.
I liked all of the Tremors.
Tremors is good.
And it kind of mutated over time. Initially, Burt Gummer was just a supporting character, and he ends up being the lead by the end. It's all about Burt.
It always started out being funny, but it definitely leaned more into the comedy later on.
Yes, definitely
As
did.
many horror franchises do.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Talking about you, Chucky.
But I thought it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, yeah, stop in over at HorrorMonthly.com. Look at that top bar. There's links there for the Horror Monthly back issues, the current issue, Horror Guys Guides, and hour-long press books, which are a series of biographies and short things, which are all fun.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out right away, because it's not going anywhere, but we want you to buy our books.
Support our work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bone Keeper from 2026. Written and directed by Howard J. Ford. Stars Sarah Alexandra Marks, Louis James, Tiffany Hannam-Daniels, and John Rhys-Davies. 96 minutes, trailer in the link.
And this was neato. It was creepy and well-made, and I liked it.
The trailer didn't show much. I was expecting, John Rhys-Davies was the big star. I figured he'd be in there for like 30 seconds and die or something like that. But he actually had a real role.
Yeah, he was in it quite a bit.
And the CGI, the monster's all CGI, but it's really kind of good CGI, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. They throw in enough practical effects to balance it, and yeah, it's creepy.
Spoiler-free. A group of 7 young folks explore a cave infested with creatures that arrived thousands of years ago by meteor. As you might guess, it goes badly for them. The basics are laid out right away. The effects look good, and it was entertaining. We both liked it.
Yeah, it was a good one.
All right, well, we don't do spoilers anymore, but how's it start out?
Give you a little taste. Well, we watch a meteorite crashing down as the credits roll. Whatever it is, it's got tentacles, and it slithers into a cave.
That's not good.
It's 400,000 years ago, and the cave people of the time fear it, since it appears to eat them.
Now, realistically, knowing what you know about this monster by the end, 400,000 years ago, and it already had tentacles when I got here.
Yeah.
Why had this thing not taken over the whole planet by now?
I think it was really limited to environment. It needed the dark, moist cave to really thrive. I don't think it could thrive outside.
400,000 years, it could dig its own caves.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think it was a habitat thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Continue.
otherwise it would have. Yeah, it
Yeah.
would have taken over Earth by now. But yeah, I think it was habitat. It was holding it back in sunlight. Yeah. Well, in 1976, a woman narrates about her grandfather, a journalist, who went exploring in a cave. He sees cave paintings and skeletal remains, and then the monster gets him.
He becomes skeletal remains.
In the present day, Professor Harrison looks depressed. I've killed him, he says. I killed her too, he yells. Well, Oliver and Annabelle want to go search for her mother, who has gone missing, while investigating the grandfather's disappearance. The police aren't doing enough, and they're not satisfied. So they and their friends, who are a group of monster hunters, head to the remote location and pick up Ashley on the way. She's a travel blogger. And they're off to find the Bone Keeper. There's a legend and stories and rumors that there's some kind of creature, but nothing's ever been seen or photographed or really proven, so here they go. Well, with the addition of Ashley, the trip got a little less scientific, but they're trying to... So anyway, Ethan, Nick, and Ravi plan to find the monster, maybe get lucky with the girls in the process. And the group goes to a local pub. Everybody watches them as they come in with suspicion.
You know, if you got vampires in town or something like that, this kind of action makes sense, but come on, this place probably has lots of tourists and people driving through.
Yeah. Well, they all look at all the missing persons posters on the wall. Well, they're here to meet Professor Harrison, and the locals are strangely hostile. Harrison knew Olivia's father, and he warns them not to go into the caves. Everyone who has ever gone in there has stayed in there. Now, you'd think that that would prompt more of an investigation, or the police, or, National Guard or something. They know, apparently the locals know, Professor Harrison knows, and people keep going, and there's a large number of missing people. I think, people just don't go, that many people just don't go missing when they know where they're going missing, and there's not sending in the military to the cave or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about the military.
That was a point that bugged me.
People get lost in caves all the time, but there's usually some sort of rescue effort or something.
Or follow-up or something, yeah.
But this is a small town in England, so
Yeah, who knows, yeah. Well,
anyway, probably a good place to stop. There's caves where everybody dies.
Yeah, there is.
Let's go visit the caves.
Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, we'll film it. We'll be the ones to survive. Everybody else before us, yes, they did it wrong.
None of these people are spelunkers or regular cave explorers. And yet none of them are claustrophobic or terrified by the caves alone.
Yeah, they seemed really comfortable in the caves.
And these are some really tight spaces. I would not be happy doing this. But yeah, none of them seem to care about the caves. It's just the monsters that make it... They don't even know about the monsters.
Well, they don't know for sure about the monsters, yeah.
Despite being specifically warned to stick together, this group continually splits up so that one person can die at a time.
And another point that troubled me on this, and I'm not picking it apart, because overall I really did enjoy it.
Yeah.
They'll be split up, and somebody gets attacked. There's a scream. There's a rock collapse. There's a whole bunch of commotion and noise. And not too far away in the same cave, they don't hear a thing.
It's a soundproof cave.
I guess. Yeah, sound doesn't travel in this cave.
But none of that is anywhere near as stupid as Olivia going back inside the cave after she sees what the creature really is.
She was after her family.
She gets out. She
checking out
escaped.
her family, though.
But she needs to go back for a necklace.
Yeah.
Oh, forget the necklace.
It meant a lot to her.
Well, the creatures are pure CGI, but they are very well done. We see more of them than I expected we would, and they all looked good.
Yeah, I did.
John Rhys-Davies is way too old to be climbing around in caves, but he still has a significant amount of screen time here.
Yeah, he didn't get much cave time.
Yeah, he didn't get into the caves, but he still is there a lot. Other than the stupid choices the characters made, I thought the film was very good. I liked it.
Yeah, the story's basic, but it's effective, and yeah, it all came together, I thought. Good body horror, and yeah, creepy.
I'm going to call it a tie this week between
creepy.
this one and our next one.
Okay.
As my favorite of the week.
I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go with the next one as...
Oh, you like the other one better?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's one major point on that one, though. We'll get to that.
Well, that takes us to our next movie, Dead Lover, also from 2026.
This movie stinks.
It does, literally.
Well, that's the problem that I have with it. We'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Directed by Grace Glowicki, written by Grace Glowicki and Ben Petrie. Stars Grace Glowicki, Ben Petrie, Leah Doze, Lauren Morrow. There's like 100 characters in this, but only 4 actors. And it's 83 minutes. YouTube trailer. And I'll tell you, the YouTube trailer makes it look cheap and awful, and maybe that's a selling point.
It's really good.
It is very good, yes.
Yeah. The actors play multiple characters.
Uh-huh. Monty Python-like.
Just like a stage play.
Okay, that too?
It's very much like a filming of a stage play, and it actually was filmed on stage.
Yeah, you can tell by the backgrounds and stuff.
It's got that
very
vibe
stagey.
To it. Yeah. Well, a lonely and smelly gravedigger laments that she can't find love. But then she finds a man who adores her just as she is, scent and all. But when she loses him, she goes to some extremes to bring him back from the dead. So it's a really fun story with a lot of chuckles and some real horror at the core. And it's unique, like I said, with the look of a stage play. And we both really enjoyed it.
And you said a minute ago that it stinks. Maybe you should explain that before somebody gets the wrong idea.
Yes, that's not offensive. It's all about scents in this. She stinks, and there's much discussion about how bad she smells, and the corpses smell, and various things smell. But the guy she meets just loves her aroma, and some of the dialogue that he has talking about her aroma is just hilarious. But they also, during screenings, handed out scratch and sniff cards. This is filmed. It's filmed in Stinkovision.
Oh, Stinkovision.
Stinkovision. Okay. And there's corresponding scenes where you scratch off the card and sniff, and you get, quite a while ago there was a John Waters film, Polyester, that was filmed in Odorama, where they did that.
Same thing?
Yeah, scratch and sniff cards. And I was lucky enough to see that at the theater with the cards. That was fun. But here it so emphasizes that, and we didn't have any cards.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you buy the DVD, it comes with a card. I'm sure if you see it in the theater, it's got that. But
I don't know how they'll do that.
It's a UK film, and it's a very small UK film, so I doubt anybody here in America is going to see it in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you can live without the smell. It's just one aspect of it that is kind of heavily pushed, though. But anyway.
You should give them a little taste.
Well, we are told on screen that it's done with Stinkovision, where a number appears on the screen at various points, and we're supposed to scratch and sniff at various times. Then a strange-looking woman plants seeds as credits roll. She's a gravedigger, and she doesn't smell very good. She's trying to make... How bad would a gravedigger smell? It's not like they're rolling around on the corpses or anything.
Maybe she doesn't ever bathe.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But she's trying to make a perfume to hide the smell of death on her. She tries to seduce the priest at a funeral, but her perfume doesn't work. When no one shows up for that funeral, the gravedigger tells us all about the 2 generic dead women. He's got a whole story for her.
Mm-hmm.
3 old women with big hair gossip about the gravedigger and the dead opera singer. We then cut to the funeral and the woman's weird funeral guests. The opera singer's brother runs off in anguish and is attacked by a wild wolf, but the gravedigger saves him. He sniffs her and doesn't hate it. Could it be the smell of the wolf's blood that makes her attractive to him?
Could be.
Well, the 2 go for a wash in the ocean, and he says, "I want to lick your stink. I want to shower in your rot, to feast on your fetid funk. I want to pick up a piece of your poo and eat it like a banana." This is so romantic. Kevin notes it might be his favorite monologue and following sex scene ever.
It's something. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's just a taste of the things that he says. And then they have a sex scene.
I don't think all the characters are rhyming and poetry, but a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This guy might be a little weird, but then she has sex with him while holding her shovel. So she's weird too.
Yep.
The 2 get very close and talk about their needs and dreams. He leaves her because he can't have children and goes overseas for an operation to possibly fix that. His postcards are quite descriptive.
Uh-huh.
In the meantime, she works on growing a rose bush to make her smell better, but he loves her because of the stink. On the way home, he's lost at sea, all but his finger.
And he knows she knows it's his because there was a very distinctive ring that he was wearing, and that comes back too.
Some foreign fishermen find the finger and bring it to the gravedigger, who has plans for that finger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, note that we didn't have the Stink-O-Vision card, so the whole Stink-O-Vision thing didn't do much for us. I did fart a time or two, and that livened up the show.
Yeah, there
but
you
only
go.
briefly and without much variety of scent. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a cast of 4 actors who play all the various characters. The sets and lighting are all very plain, giving a stage play look. Lots of red and green, colored lighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very obviously made with a super low budget, but they still use lots of interesting camera shots and lighting that make it visually interesting. The dialogue is just absolutely ridiculous and perfect at the same time. Wasn't expecting much from that trailer, but it's very funny, well-paced, and super creative, and I liked it a lot.
I'm going with my favorite of the week. Yeah, on this one.
All right, thinking about it again, I'm going to bump this up over the other one. This is my favorite of the week, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this is going to be one you're either going to love or hate. I don't see a
Probably.
lot of middle ground with this one.
Uh-huh, yeah, probably.
Anything to add there?
No, thought it was great. I saw in the trivia it was actually filmed on a couple of black box stages. So
it looks
really
like
was.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell that.
Yeah. Grace Glowicki wanted the vibe of experimental theater, and
She got it.
She got it. Yeah. Yeah. She co-wrote, directs, and she plays the lead. So there's a lot of grace in this.
She plays several roles, too.
Yeah, they all do. Yeah, they play multiple characters, which is fun. Which is like they do in stage plays sometimes.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah.
You only got a cast of 4 and 100 characters, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Camera
Costume
tricks.
changes.
Yeah. 2026, The Kinderhook Creature in the Shadow of Sasquatch. Directed by Seth Breedlove. Written by Bruce Hallenbach. Well, at least he's the author of the book that this is based on.
Mm-hmm.
And it stars Bruce Hallenbach and various eyewitnesses, hour and 12 minutes. Trailer in the show notes. This one's kind of all over the place. It's not just about this Bigfoot creature.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. Spoiler free. I mean, it's not really spoiler free because it's a documentary.
There's a monster.
There's not a
Yes.
plot, and they're talking about a monster that people have seen. And it's a documentary profiling a town in New York called Kinderhook that has a long history and might also have a big hulking creature lurking around in the woods.
They got all kinds of crap going on.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Well, Bruce Hallenbeck gives us his firsthand memories of the place. Neither of us had heard of this cryptid before this viewing. The movie, it's well put together. It weaves in some Washington Irving history because he was from that area. The guy that
Sleepy Hollow
Washington Irving
was a
was
local event.
Washington
yes.
Irving was from that area, and Ichabod Crane was possibly based on a real person. And the past, it's a really old town. There's a lot of history. It's one of the earliest towns in the U.S. And there's plenty of UFO talk, too. And, it's interesting and well put together.
Yeah.
He even throws in a story about a leprechaun.
It's got everything.
Yeah.
Which might be my biggest complaint about it. It does have too much. It's like they're throwing it all at the wall to see what
there's a lot,
brings in
a lot
tourists.
crammed into it.
Uh-huh.
It's only an hour and 12 minutes, and they really go into a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we open on a man talking about his grandmother living in what might be a haunted house.
Oh, yeah, there's ghosts, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinderhook is an old rural town north of New York City, an hour southeast of Albany. We get some initial history of the town, founded in the 1600s, and famous people who have some affiliation with the area. This was the source of the legend of Sleepy Hollow story.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Hallenbach's story soon turns to the Hudson Valley's cryptids. There's been lots of UFO activity there, as well as a white energy blob that he found in 1962. His father, who amazingly enough is still alive, he must be like 300 years old.
Both his parents, they were
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
He tells us his own experience with the white blob. Then there's a bit of discussion about ghosts, poltergeists, and hauntings in the area. We're still leading up to the good stuff, though.
The Kinderhook Creature.
Which is basically Bigfoot, is up next.
Mm-hmm.
We get an old video of Bruce's grandmother talking on TV to someone, and she's been interviewed before about this, about the creature on an old interview show in the 70s. Something was stealing her trash and taking the food out of the bags. She also saw the creature sleeping in the backyard once. Turns out lots of people in the region had seen something like it, and the place started to become famous. And the rest of the film is basically Bruce and various family members telling us stories of their supernatural encounters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
This is another one of those small-town monsters documentaries. We've done a bunch of these by now. It's a collection of interviews, recreations, and stories about the creature that I've never heard of before. It's basically Bigfoot, but the Kinderhook Creature is a unique name for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As always, the production values are good, the visuals are decent, and the interview subjects are interesting. Now, the majority of the eyewitnesses here are members of Bruce Hallenbeck's family, which is more than a little suspicious. But overall, the story is well told and kept me entertained for the runtime.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the cryptids
Interesting
out
and entertaining.
there, cryptid documentaries that we've seen, I'm going to say this is my least convincing one.
Okay.
This guy wrote a book about the monster. He does horror conventions.
Trying to make a
There's
career
like a
out
horror
of it.
convention in town.
It's not at all suspicious, eh?
No, he's got a lot to gain by doing these shows.
He does, yeah.
And it is mostly him and his stories.
And this is promoting his book.
Yeah. It's a very well-made documentary. If you're interested in this, go watch it. It's a good show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the other case, I'm very skeptical on this one.
Well, I'm generally skeptical on
Well,
these,
yeah,
but
this one more so than most.
Maybe a little more on this one.
It's a little more obvious in this case.
Yeah.
All right, one that you're going to find really obvious is The Strangers Chapter 3. It's got bad people in it.
It does. Bad people doing bad things.
Directed by Rennie Harlan. Written by Alan R. Cohen and Alan Friedland. Stars Madeline Petch, Gabriel Basso, and Emma Horvath. 91 minutes. Trailer in the usual place. Spoiler free. The carnage continues with this conclusion of the reboot, trilogy, sequel, prequel. It's got it all.
Yeah, it does.
Maya from the previous two movies is still on the run, and we get some flashbacks showing the origin of the strangers.
I thought that was interesting. I liked that part.
I didn't.
Okay.
Quite a bit is explained, but some points you don't really want to analyze too deeply. We both felt this was the best of the three, with most going on in the most backstory. There's not an after-credits scene, but the closing credits are also very cool. I like the closing credits on the second one, too. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah, they were very well done.
What happens?
Well, it is 3 years ago when a woman goes into a cheap motel and the woman behind the counter seems a little off. And that night, there's a knock at the door. It's a woman asking, "Is Tamara there?"
Never answer.
Never answer if somebody knocks at the door and asks if Tamara is there. Dollface takes the woman and ties her up for some wholesome torture. "Why?" she asks. And "Because you're here," is the answer. Scarecrow and Pinup watch her work and kiss, and credits roll.
That's my biggest complaint right there.
Yeah.
The flashbacks and the explanation and finding out more about them and their origin stories and why they're doing this, I didn't want to know.
Oh.
The best part of the original movie was at the end. Why did you do that? Why are you torturing us? Why are you killing us?
Because you were home.
Because you were home. That's all it is. It's totally mystery. Totally why.
That was chilling.
And now that we've got reasons for it, it's not as much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Well, back in the present day, Maya watches as the Scarecrow looks at dead Pinup's body and hacks at her with his axe.
Well, she wasn't dead before. She is now.
Finishes the job. Yep, they all get in their truck and drive away, leaving Maya on the road. And not long after, Sheriff Rodder drives past, but Maya hides from him. Maya goes to an old church and runs into creepy Gregory there. "Relax," he says. "Nobody has a mask here." She's pretty sure that he's Scarecrow, but it's not absolutely clear at this point because he lets her leave. And she runs into the sheriff outside, and he has to go with her. She has to go with him this time. He is so weird in this.
He is
I was
great.
impressed with his performance. Yeah, every turn he's just over the top. And she ends up stealing his car. His police car, drives away with it. Well, except she soon crashes the car into a tree.
This is like the fourth or fifth car in the movie that she crashes, isn't it?
And at this point, it was a facepalm worthy thing because she's safe. She's in a police car. She's driving down an empty road and she is all, manages to crash it. Like, oh, come on, you could have got away.
Worse yet, she drives for like a mile or two before she crashes. And where does she crash? Right next to where Scarecrow's waiting for her.
which is a heck of a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering he was just back at the church. Well, he throws her in the back of his truck and drives off. We get a flashback to the trial for Tamara's murder.
There really was a Tamara.
There was a Tamara. The boy is Sheriff Rotter's son. Ah, so that's why the sheriff seems to be in cahoots with him. A few weeks later, the boy and his friend kill a hiker in the woods, and Rotter helps them dispose of the evidence. I'll fix it, but he says no more townsfolk, understand?
They have rules.
Yeah.
We should probably stop there since we just gave away the sheriff.
Whoops.
Oops. None of the locations in this movie, or the previous one, ever seem to have any other people around. Even the busy motel is empty, like the hospital in the previous film.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of going on, and nobody looks at their window. But in this conclusion, we finally get the answers as to how this all got started and who the people involved really are. Don't see how the sheriff could possibly have covered up that many deaths over the years, because there's a lot more than we knew about.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's a minor thing to nitpick about with some of the stuff going on here. The soundtrack was really good, as was the casting. Richard Brake should win some kind of an award for creepiness in this one.
He's the sheriff.
He's always good, but he was especially weird in this one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Still, the episode explains it all, has a lot of action, and things actually do happen, unlike the previous film. So all in all, it is the best of the three.
Yeah, it was definitely the best of the three, I think.
I think
yeah.
it would have been a very fine 2.5-hour movie. All three of them condensed.
I think they could
There's
have...
no reason this needed to be three
done
movies.
that. Yeah, even a 3-hour movie. But
Yeah.
you definitely...
Almost all that middle part could have been just deleted.
There was a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was especially impressed, the younger versions of the strangers during the flashbacks. I thought the casting was really excellent, matching up how they look compared to their older versions of, the adult versions of them.
I just made a surprised face because I didn't even notice them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up? What's last?
Godzilla.
City on the Edge of Battle from 2017. Directed by Hiroyuki Sashita and Kobun Sejuno. Written by Gen Urobuchi, Sadayuki Mirai, and Tetsuya Yamada. Stars a bunch of voice actors, because it's another one of those animated ones.
It is.
Hour and 41 minutes. My goodness, look at all those people in the poster.
Uh-huh. It does have a big cast.
Humans, a couple of kinds of aliens, and a giant monster or two in the background.
Uh-huh.
Is that Mechagodzilla in the background?
It does look
Towering
like him.
over everything?
It does look like him, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm feeling disappointed now. Spoiler free, what happens?
Well, this is the second animated movie in the trilogy after Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, and it continues right from where it left off. We're still far in the future. Earth belongs to Godzilla, and humans returning to the planet hatch a plan to get rid of the big lizard once and for all. Basically, Godzilla has kind of taken over the ecosystem, and
The Earth is
everything.
changing to, service him.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So if they want to repopulate the planet, they need to purge the big guy.
Even the atmosphere has changed.
Yeah, but since we know there's a third movie, things are still left unresolved at the end. The animation is really cool. The story is gripping and full of action. It entertained us both.
And we'll both agree at this one that this is the best of the three.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was. The first one was too much setup. The third one,
A weak
spoiler,
ending.
is a weak ending with a lot of yakety yak. This one is the sweet spot.
We hear a report from the Earth's surface that now there's another Godzilla. Because they killed Godzilla in the previous movie, but it wasn't the big one.
It wasn't the Godzilla.
It's been growing for 20,000 years and is the size of a small mountain. His heat ray is powerful enough to blast them in orbit, so they talk about retreating to the moon. Credits roll.
That's a powerful heat ray when,
Yeah.
you can blast an orbiting station.
Sakaki wakes up, surprised to still be alive after the battle in the previous film. He quickly meets up with a human survivor from Earth. The humans here must have adapted to the changed atmosphere. He follows after this strange girl and wonders where his crewmates have gone.
Yeah, the humans that were left behind, they've almost become aboriginal or, like native people living off the land.
No technology.
Not much technology. Yeah.
Spears and stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yuko's group shoots at that strange girl, but Sakaki shows up right after and says, "Stop shooting." Then the others show up and surround the group and lead them away to an underground city. Professor Martin is already there, and he's made some observations about the humanish descendants. Two of the natives are twins, and they seem to be telepathic. Which twins, telepathic twins?
We've seen this kind of thing before.
Could that be leading to something?
Could that be the Mothra cult that survived?
Well, they aren't happy about the bombings that the humans did before landing. But Godzilla is the ancient enemy of their god. There are several subspecies of Godzilla now. Most of the life forms in the forest now share some of Godzilla's DNA.
He's taken over.
I don't know how all the life forms in the forest shared Godzilla's DNA. What's he been doing?
It's been a long time.
He's been alone a long time.
I think it kind of spreads like a virus.
Okay.
Yeah.
The group is released to find a landing ship and signal the mothership. The twins go with this group. They fight some monsters and reunite with Metphes, the Exif, one of those alien races. They soon call for an evac. Galugu and Belube, the Bilisados, the other alien group, comes up with a plan to beat the big Godzilla. They want to use the nanometal from the local spear tips. That doesn't seem like it's going to be very much to that. But the self-regenerating metal was originally used to build Mechagodzilla back in the day, but that never really worked well. They all decide to search for Mechagodzilla and see how that turned out. See, this nanometal grows on its own, so could Mechagodzilla have grown too?
And it's been a long time, so what do they find? An entire city made out of the nanometal that has kind of built itself.
It's grown from Mechagodzilla's carcass. They call it Mechagodzilla City.
Okay.
The Hauta twins call it sinister, evil, poison.
Yeah, they're pretty...
They don't like technology.
They're pretty anti-tech, yeah.
The group enters the city and finds the head of Mechagodzilla. They reactivate it, and it starts to regenerate the control center. Sakaki explains his plan to capture and kill Godzilla using the whole city as a trap. They build a new flying weapon, the Vulture. They want to use it to lure Godzilla into that trap.
Sounds like a plan. What could go wrong?
Something will go wrong because this is only part 2.
Because it's only part 2. Yeah.
Well, as you said, this picks up immediately after Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, and it has the benefit of not needing to explain the whole situation and characters this time. But it's still the middle of the story, so it doesn't really end. Lots of action. It's easy enough to follow and understand what's going on at all times. I did like this one.
Mm-hmm. Definitely my favorite of the 3.
Yes, and you don't like cartoons. So...
And for me to be entertained and approve of a cartoon is saying a lot.
This ended, and he said, "Oh, that was not so bad after all."
That was quite enjoyable, yeah.
All right, well, that is it for this week. Tune in next week where we will have 5 more horror films, and I bet one of those will wrap up the Godzilla series.
I bet it will.
It will. And that's it for this week. I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.